Hey everyone, I'm James, and this is Covetous Imp Gaming, and this week we're doing our newest installment in our world building series, and we're talking about populating your settlements. If you're joining us for the first time, please do all the things that the internet robots want you to do, and drop us a like, a comment, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell so that you can get that cool message that says, hey, Covetous Imp Gaming just dropped a new video, you should check it out. If you're just coming back to us, welcome back. Check us out over on Facebook, where we do all of our questions for the Imp Master, our giveaways, and things like that. And check us out on Patreon, where we post all our PDFs, special stat blocks for monsters, and item cards. Those links are down below. Hopefully you checked out our previous world building videos, and if you've done so, you should have a ready-to-go map of your world. The next thing you're going to work on is filling that world in with forests, mountains, rivers, oceans, lakes, and the like. From here, you can start to identify where you want to place settlements. And if you're building an entire world, you're going to have to do a good number of these. Settlements come in all different sizes, and this is your first step. Are you going to have a hamlet, which is about 100 people, a village, which can go up to 1,000 people, a town can go up to 10,000 people, a city, which has about 100,000 up to 100,000 people, or a metropolis, which has anything over 100,000 people. When I think of a metropolis, I think of a place like King's Landing. They are the consumers of everything, but the producers of nothing. So the next thing that you're going to be looking into is commerce. What does this settlement produce, or what do they do? And this is dictated heavily off of the land. So the world dictates what kind of commerce is happening here. If they're next to the forest, there's a good chance that they are trappers, hunters, lumberjacks, producing things with wood or leatherworking, that sort of thing. If they're a coastal town, there's a good chance that it's a fishing village, that sort of thing. If they're in flat, fertile land, it's a good chance that they're farmers, and it is a good farming land. If they're near the mountains, mining, blacksmithing, that sort of thing, jewel crafting. The next thing on the list is points of interest. These are the buildings that need to be in your settlements, as well as what's needed for the commerce to happen. So these are a house of worship, a tavern or an inn, a place where your party can get a hot meal and a night's rest, a government building of some sort where the residents can go with their grievances and the party can go looking for work. So, and then as far as the trade buildings go, I like to start with a list of all the buildings that I would see in my world. These include like an alchemist, blacksmith, everything. And then you can pinpoint those buildings into the settlements that they belong in. Next on the list is defense. It's who or what keeps this settlement safe. It could be as elaborate as an organized military, to just a village guard, to some natural occurrence in the terrain that keeps the village safe, down to nothing. The people in this settlement could believe that the gods watch over them and keep them safe. And what better night than the night that the party arrives for the world to prove them wrong? The last thing on the list is people. Those are the main characters in the settlement that the party are going to be interacting with. If you're making a city or a metropolis, you don't need to know all 100,000 plus people that are living in this settlement. You only need to know the people that the party are going to interact with. That being said, you should have a list prepared of NPC names and maybe a couple traits that they have, so that in the event that somebody decides to go see the random blacksmith, they don't say, hey, what's your name? And you're just, So we had a few questions this week. The first one was, what do we do about players who walk into a town and decide to be murder hobos? I would actively push, as the dungeon master, to have at least one person escape the town. and flee to a nearby settlement. And then as the party moves through this area, they find themselves on wanted posters and the like. They become wanted men. Another question was involving romantic interests in a settlement. I wouldn't write for something like that, but I would certainly allow it to unfold. And that person would just get included into more and more stories as the party returned to that settlement. Our last question was about involving major NPCs or minor NPCs in major plot lines and having them possibly not find someone who is involved in a major plot line. I would definitely push for, if there was a settlement that was a part of a major plot line, when the characters arrive at that settlement, the plot line is actively seeking out the characters as opposed to the characters stumbling across this information. That's going to wrap it up for this week. Check us out next week when my Descent to Avernus campaign ends and I'm going over the module as a whole. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all the support. I hope you're staying safe out there. We'll see you next week.